there's people tweeting at you, to you, about you, blog posts that are written. I mean, at some point, what do you do? And how do you choose which to answer? And personal versus professional,
Okay, yeah, well, let's take the first part first, then go to personal professional. The last hour that I've been speaking here, there are TweetDeck Uber Twitter on my BlackBerry tells me I have 99 plus tweets. So that means over 99 tweets about this, most likely, and then 57 emails. Those will all be answered and or responded to and or looked at on the drive back to the airport. Productivity comes down to how you use the tools you have at your disposal. Finding the best tools for you. I want to show you guys something. The best tools that I have for me are the tools that work the best for me. And what does that mean? That simply means that I know that my time is limited and it's more important for me to answer everyone myself than it is to hire someone to do it for me. So that means that I make, and I'm going to call them sacrifices, I make changes in my life that help me to do the things I need to do when I do. So I'm a New York City subway kid, right? So I'm on the subway every day, okay, whenever I go to meetings or whatever. Average time on the subway is about 12, 14 minutes. Okay? I can go on the subway with everything you have to see in this jacket, and I can be productive. The second I sit down, out comes the air. Okay? If I find myself with 10 minutes online in a bank, or doing something where I have, or sitting in the airport, whatever, out comes the 4G network from Sprint. Between these two things, I can write a blog post. I can answer 30 emails. Scalability, look, if I was Bill Gates, no, I would not be doing it all. But at 150,000 on average followers between Facebook and Twitter, I have the ability to respond to anyone. Between Google News Alerts, Facebook, Twitter, no. Here's what I use. Here's how I scale from, I used to use Apple, Mac Air, Apple Mail, and my own server. Everything I own is in the cloud. Everything that I work on is in the cloud. And by the way, the cloud is the internet. Stop referring to the damn cloud that was invented in October. Okay, the cloud is the internet. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's nothing new. Everything I own is uploaded. So here are the tools that I use to make sure that I can do my job from wherever I am. MacBook Air, Sprint 4G card, and I have no financial stake in any of these. I'm on the board of the Scotty Best, but I don't make any money from it. It's just an advisory role. MacBook Air, 4G card, Dropbox, Evernote, Jing, Backblaze, Google Apps. Those 5 things, come see me later, I'll give it to you. Actually, I wrote a blog post today on productivity at Shankman.com. I list all 5 things. Those 5 things allow me to work from wherever I am at any time. When I have a million people following me, and I have a TV show, whatever, will I still be able to do that? I hope so. I will do as much of it as I can. It will be a little slower, yes, but I believe it can. I believe you can do it. It's a small business, there's no excuse why anyone here who runs a small business should not be able to do that. If I'm as busy as I am, it takes 5 minutes out of my day in total. When I'm waiting for the subway, quick scan on Uber Twitter, see what people are talking about. Quick scan on Facebook to see what my updates are. 5 seconds. It's very doable if you have the right tools to do it. Regarding personal and professional, I don't believe there's a difference. I don't believe that there is a difference between your professional and your personal brand. It's you.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to...
Oh, okay.
I was actually related to productivity because there's certain things...
Okay, agreed.
That you really like to do.
Yeah, don't tweet during sex. Things like that. That's where you're going. When I skydive, that's my own time. Although my business card 2 years ago was me tweeting in free fall. When I run, the whole reason I train, find what you love and do it without devices. When I train for my marathon, I'm out in Central Park with nothing more than my iPod. Not an iPhone, it's an old school 128 megabyte iPod. I've had it for like 10 years. That's what I use because that's my time. And that's how I stay sane. When I go to sleep, I shut my ringer off. I sleep from like 10 p.m. to about 4 a.m. Turn my ringer back on at 4 a.m. If you need me at 2 a.m., it's nothing that can't wait till 4 a.m. And that's how I find my middle ground. Everyone needs to do that. That's also how I'm going to prevent information overload in the future as we get more and more wired into one device. I believe that in 24 months it's going to be one device. We can carry around. Everything we see will log into the same. It doesn't matter what you're using. Wherever you are, you'll log in. Your workstation will be that part of that cloud. Anyone ever heard of the GOES Pass system, Global Entry Program? Anyone travel overseas a lot? When I come back, I travel overseas a lot. I paid $100 to the government to get a retina scan, an anal probe. Just kidding. It sounds like it's not. A retina scan and a fingerprint scan and a background check. When I come out from overseas, you land from you land back in O'Hare and you have to go through immigration. There's like 40 other planes that all land at the same time. There's like 9,000 people waiting to go. There's a little machine in the corner no one ever uses. I walk up to it, I stare straight at it, I scan my eyes, it's a fingerprint scan, I scan my passport, and I'm out the door in 30 seconds. I don't even have to fill out that stupid customs form on the plane. When you get those customs forms, you have like 300 people on the plane going, I don't have to do this. I've done my homework. Do your homework, and you will find that you can save a ton of time. So, that help? Cool. What else?
Question.
Yeah.
How much transparency is too much transparency? When does it start hurting you?
I will not, I believe it starts hurting you. Okay, there are a lot of things I will not post. No one in my online world knows whether I'm gay or straight. And the closest they'll ever get to that is I posted photos from a George Michael concert, even that's ambiguous. I think there are certain things I don't need to share. I'm single right now, it was about a month ago, but prior to that I had a girlfriend for a year and a half and no one knew it. Not because I was hiding it. She was a 6 foot tall Pilates instructor. I did not have to hide her at all. It was impossible to hide. She's 6 foot freaking tall. No, I didn't bring her out there because I didn't want to have to throw her into my world. Just because I'm okay with being that much in public does not mean she needs to be. And every photo I posted online, I would ask her, is it okay if you're tagging her? Is it okay if you're... And she would never had a problem with it. I didn't feel it was fair to throw her into my world. You are as transparent as you perceive it positive to be. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have a blog as a corporate CEO. If you run a company, if you run a small business, yeah, damn right you should be blogging. You should be talking about your industry and why you're so great. Both books I have came because people found my blog. If you're running a small business, I want to know the person I'm buying from knows his business. I want to know if I'm using dry ice glass and that you know everything about that because you have a blog that talks about it. And I want to know that you're a human being. I want to know it's posted by you, not free assistants. People, here's a great tweetable quote. Companies send press releases. People in those companies tweet. And that's really important. I don't want to know that when I want to buy from Verizon, but when I have a problem, I want to talk to John. Okay? And I can say that for another week until the iPhone comes to Verizon, and Verizon's going to turn to AT&T, and I'm not going to buy from Verizon. But, I got my first call yesterday, and I'm like, damn, the iPhone's not ready. But, you want to be able to buy from a big company with someone with the power of a big company, but when you have a problem, you want to talk to that one person. So I believe that it becomes too much when it affects you. I'll give you a great example. I actually gave up drinking for this year to 10% project, so I quit drinking for a year. But in 2009, when I was drinking and Twitter was becoming big, I learned a very valuable lesson very early. And I won't bring my BlackBerry out when I go drinking. I won't. I will not bring a device. I only drink hardcore like 3 or 4 times a year. I have 2 friends, one's from Wales and one's from London, which means that they're perpetual drunks with a really annoying accent. So we see each other probably 4 times a year when we go out. And when we do that, they drink, I mean, literally, they're on their 7th Guinness by the time I'm like learning how to spell Guinness. And by the end of the night, it's not good. I will not bring a device to it. I actually threw something a couple months ago. I threw my first ever privacy party. I invited 20 people and I hired a security guard. Security guard wasn't to keep people out, security guard was to take people's devices. We sat around for 3.5 hours, talked, had some drinks, just pardon the expression, shot the shit, about 3.5 hours, and it had nothing we said was recorded. Nothing we said was tweeted, and people can't get it as the most open thing they've ever done in their life. I believe there's a lot of money to be made in privacy parties. And I don't think it would be. But I really believe there's a lot of money made there. So when is it too much? It's too much when you think it's too much. And I've never seen anyone think that having a CEO who talks or blogs is too much. Too much is live tweeting your birth. You know what? If you have a kid, just keep the hell off Twitter. And as long as we're on the subject, anyone here have kids? Anyone here use the kid's face as your Facebook profile page? Stop doing that! I don't want to, if I'm sending you a message, I don't want to be sending it to what I perceive to be an 18-month-old. I want to say it to you. I love that you have a kid that's awesome, I'll go play with it. But you still have an identity yourself. And as long as we're on the subject, after 24 months, the kid doesn't get aged by months anymore. Okay, I was at a party a couple months ago, and the woman said, I'm like, how old is he? He's like, 37 months. I looked at him, is he a breed? He's not 37 months, he's 3 years. He's not cheese. There. More questions?
I have the microphone up here. I was given the microphone.
Okay, go for it.
I had the question about writing.
Good.
You got a letter from a Harvard grad. She represents the upcoming generation of business people. How do you think it's going to be monitored that people who text write as they think an acceptable form of communication? How do you think that's going to change or be monitored in some way in the business world?
Let me see how I can phrase this as well as I can. Text, and feel free to quote him, text writing will never be acceptable as a form of business communication. Done. End of story. And if you are going to text write to me in a form of business communication, you will not get a response. Here are the 3 things that you will not get a response for in a business world. If you text write to me something formal. You want to text me? Dude, running 5 late. That's fine. You send me text speak in a business document, or a resume, something like that, that's number 1, you will not get a response. And there are 2 other things that just, my ADHD just kicked it out of my head as we were talking. So continue and I'll figure it out.
Okay, and that's you, and that's great. What happens if this Harvard grad who wrote to you in text speak, for some strange reason, gets to be the president of a large corporation?
I won't use her.
You won't use her, but she thinks that text speak is fine.
Then that's fine. And at some point in the future, that's going to come back and bite her in the ass. We need to be smarter. We need to simply put, you want to succeed? Be smarter than the stupid people. It's that simple. If you want to succeed, be smarter than the stupid. If she's going to continue to be stupid in text, that's fine. At some point, that's going to bite her, and she's going to lose. Simply because I know how to write and she doesn't, I will win. It's really, really easy to compete when all you have to do is be 1% above stupidity. And that's pretty much where we are in this country right now. Octomom! Okay? We don't really have the bar that high, guys. It's not really that, I just remember the second thing that would prevent me from doing business with you. If you have an autoresponder in your email that says I only check email twice a day. Okay, if you do that, by the time you do check your email, I found someone else and gave my business to them. I don't remember the third one. So yeah, just be smarter. And quite frankly, we're seeing a backlash now from employers who won't deal with kids, their new employees texting and text speaking. Text all you want. Learn how to write when you're sending me an email. You don't send me an email. I don't care if you're on your BlackBerry. Don't send me an email that I have to look up and figure out what. Anyone have kids and middle and teenage kids? If you do, email me. I'll send you an article on the top 15 initials that you don't know what they mean. Okay? And we all know POS is parents over shoulder, right? We get that, right? But what is it? Are you B2B? Which you might think, oh cool, they're looking at business to business working. No, that's are you bringing the bulb? Okay, your daughter's getting high. So we can talk more about that. But yeah, I think that texting is fine, text speak is fine. Learn when it's appropriate. What else? Yeah.
How are the big enterprise companies managing their social media marketing? What are you seeing that's working?
I think that what's working is a couple of things. The first thing you have to realize is that the big companies, the ones who are still afraid of it, are afraid of it because they're afraid of what's going to be said about them. The easiest way to get over that is to say get over it. Privacy died 30 years ago. The only thing you can do now is be smart about what's out there and respond. The worst, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I was boarding a Delta flight, and there was a guy working for Delta in a full Delta uniform sleeping on the baggage loader. Like the little loader that goes and goes to sleep. And so I took a picture of it. And I tweeted it. And I tweeted out, "Dear Delta, are you freaking kidding me?" I never heard a response from Delta. 3 months later, I was on a Delta flight. I never fly Delta. These 2 times I happened to fly Delta. I was flying from Florida to New York. And over South Carolina, something went wrong with a wing fell off. I don't know. We had to make an emergency landing. And we landed in some small little airport in the middle of nowhere. So 150 people get off the plane. There's no Delta representative anywhere to be found. The pilot, co-pilot, the flight attendant's going to hide. And we're trapped. It's the airport. So finally, a Delta person shows up, takes your sweet time, get the computer set up. Okay, it's been an hour. Okay, we'd like to get home Saturday afternoon. I had planned that. I tweet, "Hey Delta, at Delta Air, help. Trapped in